Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. We always say that because we have people from all over the world that are tuning in with us. And today it is my pleasure, my honor to have John Harmon with us. And John is an he ain't old, but he's an old friend.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm older than he is, but we're glad to have John with us today because, first of all, I love what you're doing. You know, we think a lot alike, you and I, as far as empowering the communities and giving back and all of that. So I am so glad that we finally connected to talk about all the work that you've done with the New Jersey Black Chamber and everything else. So John, I know you started out from humble beginnings. Your father was an entrepreneur. Is that why you think that you wanted to give business owners, especially in the Black communities, the opportunity to showcase their products and services?
Well, I would say in part, and again, thank you, Dr. King, for allowing me to be a part of this conversation today. And you're just an amazing human being who have dedicated your life to demonstrating to society, particularly Black women and others, that they can be all they can be. And through God, all things are possible. So my dad, is clearly my hero. I'm one of 7 kids. I grew up in Trenton, New Jersey. But what's interesting, I started my career in banking and working in New York City. And my office down on Wall Street that I was working at the time, they wanted to relocate to Long Island, at which time I chose not to take that additional journey into in the deeper depths of New York. And I came back home to Trenton and I started a transportation company, which I ran for 16 years. But while doing that, I met some people who were looking to help Black businesses in the Trenton region. And I got involved with them. And 2 years in, I became the president of the Metropolitan Trenton African American Chamber. And thus, that's how this thing got started. And I was 97, 99.
That and so I looked at your bio. Yeah, so you started off in banking, which I always say that my tenure at the electric company really prepared me for this, and I know you can say the same, to be able to deal with people from all sides of the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So, and it also, what it
Oh,
gave
absolutely.
me a real heads up for finances and how to get projects funded and all of that stuff. Was that correct?
No, you're absolutely right. Getting involved with, at that time, it's the Bowery Savings Bank, and then I went on a chemical bank. But I was a part of a program to groom future bank presidents. So I spent, about a year in every department of the bank. So wherever the leader of that division went, I would shadow that person and got a full understanding of what that particular operation was all about, from the banking floor right up to the chairman's office. And so that exposed me to a lot of people at different levels, high net worth individuals, as well as working class individuals who had savings and checking accounts with the bank, or came in for a mortgage or commercial loan, et cetera, et cetera. So it was a good foundation as I kind of matriculated in becoming a chamber president. So I got a good understanding when business owners would come in and talk about their challenges of accessing capital or understanding the inner workings of various industries. And this helped me tremendously. And just the ability to hold a substantive conversation with people that are at a certain level in their profession or vocation. And it was a great road for me. a road paved to where I'm at today.
Yeah. So starting off as the Trenton, and I believe I was there when it was the Trenton Chamber. How did you end up New Jersey, the whole state?
Now, it's a great question. So I became president of the what we call MTAC at the time, the Metropolitan Trenton African American Chamber of Commerce, in 1999, and I was president of that group up until 2009. But what we noticed around 2003 was 32% of our membership was coming from outside of our defined territory of, say, 25-mile radius. And so we began to take a deeper look at why those businesses were coming to Trenton, and what we were doing to attract them to Trenton and retain them as members. And so after our research concluded, I started to really think about establishing a statewide chamber. And look, data, you follow the data. The data will tell you where the gaps are and or the opportunities. But also, we never in New Jersey had a statewide business organization that represent the interests of Black people. Although other groups did, I felt that we were an outlier in that regard. And most of the time, when people ran for public office, they tend to go to the pastors for support. And with the understanding that the pastors of these churches had an understanding of what the Black agenda was. And they coalesced in relationship with them, thus getting elected, but not having a formal relationship to have accountability to what may have been a perceived relationship. And so that led to us establishing the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey in 2007. I was already involved with the National Black Chamber around 2001 in Washington, D.C. And around the same time, got involved with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which is the largest business federation in the world. And I sit on those respective boards today. But that was all a part of my education, my matriculation into this space. I studied Booker T. Washington and found out that he established the Negro Business League in 1900, which in essence was 40 chapters or 40 chambers between Maryland and Texas, talking about capitalism and free enterprise. And many of those businesses migrated over to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 1920s. But it's interesting to point out that in 1912, although the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is the largest business federation in the world today, they were established in 1912, and Booker T. Washington was an advisor to President Taft, who founded the U.S. Chamber in 1912. So this Chamber of Commerce business is not something that's new to us. When I visit with my colleagues in Jamaica, they have chapters in various parishes in Jamaica that have been around for a lot longer than us. So getting New Jerseyans, getting Black New Jerseyans to understand the value proposition of leveraging those relationships that exist in the mission of the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey was in their interest. So rolling it out in 2007 was what we did, and here we are today, going on our 17th year.
That's amazing. So when everyone that knows me knows I'm a Jersey girl, and I wasn't with the chamber. I didn't join the chamber, and I really wasn't. I don't think I knew enough about the Black chamber actually, I don't even know if I had a business. I didn't have a business. So North Carolina is when I got involved. But what separates, I mean, I know the Black Chamber, and a lot of people don't really like us to separate Black from the regular chamber. A lot of people don't like Black women empowered. They think that we are just, I've been called racist and I've been called everything. But why do you feel, yeah, go ahead and laugh at that. Why do you feel it's necessary to have a Black chamber as opposed to the regular chamber?
That's a great question. So let's unpack that a little bit, because I also have had similar questions over the years. But when you look at and I'll put it in the context of New Jersey, today there's 1.2 million Blacks in New Jersey, and there's about 9 million residents in New Jersey. There are close to 90,000 Black businesses in New Jersey, according to the US Census. In the latest census, there may be more. But only 35% of Blacks in New Jersey own homes. We have the highest poverty, the highest unemployment. Our median income is lower than mainstream New Jersey. Net worth for whites in New Jersey is $322,000, and for Blacks is 17.
Oh,
So when you add up all your assets and subtract all your liabilities, data says that you have about $17,000 worth of either cash or assets. And so for us, as a responsible group of God-created beings, to ask others to shoulder that degree of underperformance or liabilities is a big ask, and we be perceived as hat in hand or charity. But if we own that as an organization and get strategically aligned with those who have the resources, opportunities, and information, through that strategic alignment, we can mitigate that underperformance. So the organization you work for, Public Service, Electric and Gas, is a member of the chamber. So that gives me and the members access to negotiate with them. How do we participate in their supply chain? How do we get Black people career opportunities within that organization? How do we leverage the foundation or the sponsorship dollars that they put back into the community through their corporate citizenship programming to fund programs that we have at the chamber? We have Leadership for Kids here. We have what we call a business accelerator program that help Black businesses scale and grow. We have 2 TV shows, a radio show. We have an ex-offender entrepreneurship program, also a job placement program for ex-offenders. So that's how we do this in a way that makes a lot of sense. So we participate in the ecosystem that where our members reside, where corporations, be it pharma, be it utilities, be it construction, be it retail, be it marketing. Blacks spend $1.8 trillion annually to fund the business models of corporate America and businesses in our communities that may not look like us, but we patronize heavily. Through the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey, we seek to forge a relationship to garner reciprocity. And so this is why I think it's critically important that they have what they have, we have what we have, but together we create a more competitive New Jersey.
You know, I love that. You probably don't know because we haven't really had an in-depth conversation offline. I was a commissioner for North Carolina Human Relations, and actually I was the vice chair. So I got a chance to learn a lot about contracts, government contracts, and dealing with corporations. And well, you may not know, I don't sugarcoat it. I give it to you straight. That's just who I am. So what I found out in that arena was that a lot of the companies that tried to bid on the government contracts, black people, Black owned businesses, They got actually pushed out because the owners, they know that they're looking for minorities. They're looking for women-owned and minority businesses. So if you're a woman and you're a Black woman, you're double. But if you're a white woman, you're still a minority business. So you could fall into that category. So here's the issue that I found. The men with all the money who could outbid, and you know that most of the time they're going to take the best bid, are going to put the businesses in their wives' and daughters' names. We can't compete because we don't have that kind of money to outbid them. Do you feel that by collaborating, and we talked about this when you interviewed me, collaborating and bidding on the contracts together is a better option for us?
Well, I think all the above are better options for us. So I want to kind of speak to that a little bit. I'm going to go back and then I'm going to answer your question. So within our ecosystem, I mentioned we have utilities as members. We have over 40 financial services institutions that are members. We have higher education, that means community colleges, four-year institutions. We have 6 healthcare systems that are members within the organization. And we have a number of larger Black businesses from out of state that are members here in New Jersey. And so within the ecosystem, we have an opportunity to engage the decision makers in these organizations because they are part of us, and we're part of them, to talk about how do we position our members to compete for contracts. And so one way we do it here is that we'll get 15, 20 businesses and do a showcase. We've done them with New Jersey Transit. We've done them with Con Edison in New York. We've done it with healthcare systems in New Jersey. We've done it recently with Atlantic City Electric. And oftentimes they are like blown away because the perception is that Black businesses don't have the wherewithal to provide value. So when we enter these conversations, it's not about charity, it's about producing value so we all win. But the other thing we do in these conversations is talk about the bidding process. So if you unbundle contracts to allow businesses at the same level to compete for those opportunities, the probability of Blacks winning more opportunities increase versus, for example, having a business that's revenue, let's say $500,000, competing with a business that's $10 million. The larger company is going to always win because their cost structure is different. So they can do things that a smaller business can't do. So one thing we do is speak to them about policy. How do we get bids at a level that's commensurate where it doesn't matter who's bidding, Black, white, woman, Asian, if it's at the same level of experience and revenue, you don't really need to have the different protected classes compete. The other way we've done it successfully is, in the case of New York and other areas where there are strong minority goals, it's in our interest sometime for the Black firm to be the prime and the white firm to be the sub. And we've done that successfully because at the end of the day, if you get with like-minded people, they're about winning the opportunity. And it's not about, who's in the lead, who's behind, because you then bring the opportunity back, put it on the table, and you figure out how everybody eats. And so that is the posture that we take here in New Jersey. And it has helped us. We have 19 people that work here at the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey. And there's not too many Black chambers across the country that I would say have that many employees. And this is not to be disparaging, because similarly, there's not too many white chambers that have that many employees. So we built a business model here that can compete with mainstream New Jersey in a way that members get a return on their investment. We are the only accredited Chamber of Commerce in the state of New Jersey out of the 154 chambers that exist in our state. We are accredited with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce.
I saw that. And so, John, you with your leadership is amazing. I'm excited to say that you and I are going to be working together because there's a lot of stuff I can learn from you and help me help our millions of women who are looking for opportunities. They don't just have to be in Jersey. And then with our business directory, which I told you is launching on Martin Luther King's birthday, Monday, that's a total game changer because with marketing, you know, marketing can be very expensive. And
absolutely.
So if you can get in front of 4 million people for $10, $20 a month, $175 a year, that's a no-brainer, isn't it? When you agree?
I love it. I would welcome the opportunity to speak to your audience, maybe a Q&A, because what I find in some instances, particularly with women businesses, women are the most talented people on this earth. Women help, they're carrying the load in their homes, sometimes representing both roles. They work in multiple jobs. They make it happen. They help people get elected all the time. And I would love to have an audience and do perhaps a Q&A and give them advice or suggestions. I just think that many women lack the courage to go forward sometimes. I mean, they can do it. There's no question. Sometimes they need a little assurance that they can do it, or a little clarity as to how to get down that pathway to success. I'd love to do that.
Well, we're definitely going to do that, and we'll do that on a more intimate setting. We're more than likely we'll do that on a Zoom. But yeah, so that's what I found too. But John, I mean, you know that Black women, and I survived. I'm going to be honest with you. I survived 26 years at PSCNJ. And honestly, I do it all the time. I give credit to Dave Daly, my friend. We were friends. Him and his wife and I were pregnant at the same time. Our daughters became friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we have a history. But Dave saw in me something that nobody else could see. And here's the problem. I don't know anyone else, and I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but it's the truth. I don't know anyone else at the company when I was there that had a mentor that walked them through the whole negotiating through corporate America other than me. And that's the truth. Dave, he did a roadmap for me. That's why I praise him. He hates it when I do it, but that's why I praise him all the time, because I never would have had a 6-figure salary and a company car and all that. Never, if it wasn't for him. But see, we don't, in most cases, get those opportunities, John. So we get beat down. I know you've been hearing Taraji P. Henson talking about, and who knew that Black actresses were going through so much turmoil just to make what the counterparts are making. If she didn't speak on it, we would never know. We would just think they were just doing fine. So that's an issue.
It's a huge issue, and what's great, Dave Daly is not only a friend, but he's one of the biggest champions that we have at the chamber. I recall speaking at PSCNJ as he became the president, and then he and I had several meetings following that. We presented Black businesses to him. He was impressed when he saw the talent that exists within our demographic, and he's working with one of the Black firms today in his retirement. But it takes people like Dave internally that get it, and then they're able to advocate internally. So what you found in Dave Daly is God's favor, right?
Amen.
And I have a similar experience with Dave, and we're working through that. He's introduced me to a number of his counterparts, and not only an introduction, but a strong endorsement why this makes sense. He's been at a number of our events and just stood up and gave a testimonial why people should support the chamber and why he supports the chamber. Back to your earlier question, we cannot, Black people, this is my opinion, some folks may push back on it. Black people cannot realize their ultimate level of success without leveraging other people. You know, Harriet Tubman would not have been successful with the Underground Railroad without taking the risk and having strong discernment to work with those white people that helped her execute that. Booker T. Washington's education was funded by a white man. And Mary McLeod Bethune, Cookman University today, her vision was funded in part by representatives of Procter and Gamble. There are tons of examples of how Black people and white people collaborated for mutual benefit. And I think we need to push that more today. We need interdependence. And I think Taraji is one of my favorite actresses. And clearly, she knew her worth. But oftentimes, if you don't, one, know your worth and be able to stand flat-footed, you're going to be marginalized. And then you get some Blacks who says they get theirs and they, you know, this is a secret. I'm making 10, 20 million a film. You know, you figure it out. Well, we didn't get here that way. People sacrifice, Black people sacrifice their lives for us just to be recognized as a people and to have these 21st century Blacks, in some instances, not be willing to mentor or guide and support others. You know, that's not going to help us in the long term.
And it's funny when Dave, he cracked me up. I got to introduce you to John Harmon. And I laughed at him. I said, John Harmon, really? I said, we've known each other for years. I said, we go way back to church together. He was shocked.
Yes.
But the timing is right, John, because I believe that you need me and I need you. And
that's a fact.
Together.
That's a fact. And I'm gonna hold on to you. He said, was it Jacob? I'm not gonna let you go till you bless me, right?
No, that's right. Yeah, there's so much that we can do together. We can offer a tons of opportunity for not just the Black chamber, but the U.S. chamber, because guess what? You're now reaching globally through the directory. Yes. It's not staying in your state. If you have a service that you can sell anywhere, you can get in there and reach anybody. You can put your zip code in and find all the people who are in your area. That's major. That's major.
It's huge. It's huge. You know, let me just point this out, because you made the point about the timing. So let me kind of add a little something to that. We are in such a critical time right now. We have a presidential race that is unprecedented in many respects, right? We have elected officials today whose conduct is unprecedented, and they're going against some of their best angels just to get favor with a certain person or a certain group, or to get likes on the social media platforms. So I said that to say this. It is a critical time for Black people to hold others accountable, even people that look like us. Everyone owes us something. And if you're an elected official, particularly if you're a Black elected official, and you're not championing Blacks getting access to opportunities or careers, then you're doing a disservice, or introducing your constituency to resources that could perhaps change their lives, be it tax credits or being grants to fund nonprofit organizations, or tax credits or incentives to grow and scale businesses. So what I'm saying is that at the basic community level, every adult, particularly if you own a home, you should be at city council meetings, letting folks know that you exist. If you are a business owner, you should be at city council meetings. If you just go there to observe, you will find every meeting on the docket, they are approving contracts. So in other words, you're paying taxes in your community and you have a business and you're not getting access to contract opportunities. Shame on you. School board meetings, they buy products and services. And Trenton alone, the budget for the Trenton School District is probably between $300 and $400 million. The school district in Newark, New Jersey, is $1 billion. And so if they spend a third of that in Newark, that's $300 million in goods and services opportunities. If they spend a similar dollar in Trenton, you know, it's real money that we're passing on because one, we may be intimidated or afraid. The first thing people say, well, I don't know how. Well, if you stay home, you still don't know how. So you got city council meetings, school board meetings. Your county has same types of meetings. Here we have county commissioners. Some states have freeholders. So a county commissioner or the county executive is the mayor of the county in essence. And the freehold or the commissioners are council members. They too are letting contracts out every meeting. You're paying taxes
Yes, they are.
in that community and you're not getting opportunities. So that's shame on you. And you probably work to get somebody elected and they're giving you excuses why you can't eat. They shouldn't be in office. So those are the things, these are the low-hanging fruit opportunities that we leave on the table. So that's public sector. And then what you do with corporations is the private sector. So I think we need to be laser focused on this money in 2024 and not so much on charity. Black people are, we can talk about the game.
Say amen on that one. That deserves an amen.
We can talk every social gathering at the football games or the basketball games, at the clubs, on the bar stools, at church. We're always talking about what they are doing versus talking about what we are doing. They this, did you see her? Did you see him? Man, they're talking crazy. Well, they're talking crazy with your money. Go get your money. It's time to eat.
John, do you think that we can actually do some workshops maybe on?
Oh, absolutely.
Because see, education,
Absolutely.
it's easy to say that you don't know. Let me tell you something. When I started Black Women Empowered, I really didn't know anything about social media. I'll be honest with you. I really didn't. And I never thought that, we would be where we are today. Each year, because, our theme is Christian Women Level Up. Every single year we leveled up to something else. We didn't stay complacent. Okay, so I got 20,000 followers. I'm good. No, we just kept enhancing, learning new software, learning new platforms, reaching new people through posts and workshops and all that. That's what it's going to take, because a lot of times we allow fear. Fear is the biggest barrier to success.
No, I agree, but I tell you, if you're a Christian or if you're a person of faith, or put it that way, right? I don't want to offend anybody. The only person you should fear is God. There's nothing out here other than God that you should fear. Moreover, when you look at the history of Black people, you're going to make this big rollout on Martin Luther King's birthday. Here's a guy who came up in a small church in the South. His grandfather was a preacher. Father was a preacher. He was well schooled. He was in college as an early teen, and he went on and did great things. But he started with very humble beginnings and became this great voice across the world, not only America. But this guy, every day he stepped out of his door, there was a real threat on his life. Medgar Evers shot down in his front yard, right? Yeah, we have some things in our environment today that could be a little intimidating, but not to the degree that those people went through. The Kennedy brothers being assassinated. The 60s was a rough time.
Sure was.
For people in leadership, particularly Black people. And so we don't have that threat today. Now there's some more sophisticated threats, but we have, to your point, access to social media. We have these various platforms, some of which at nominal cost, some of which you can go on and learn stuff to perfect your craft. But this whole thing of taking the shortcuts and being an off-book enterprise. Well, man, I'm getting paid under the table. Or one of the craziest things I heard just 2 days ago, and I think your audience appreciated, some people might, again, take offense. I heard that there are some people who take a job for a few months, and then coming into the new year, they'll quit the job because they're eligible for earned income tax credits or something.
Wow.
There's only a few $1,000s, but this is it. This is how they got our people all tripped up to take these schemes. You know, public housing and public resources, to me, are to help people get a leg up, and then they can move on their own home, own business, be in a better place. And so what happens is they get you into these schemes where they say, well, if you make this amount of money, your rent's going up. Well, you want to make more money because you don't want to rent. You want to own your own place. And so there's ways to do that, and we can talk about that on the platform. Our people who've come from a legacy of success, Black people built the United States. Every major monument in Washington, D.C., including the White House, we built it. So we knew math before other people knew math. We knew science. If you look back at all the major technology that has come to market, telephones, et cetera, Black people have been a part of it. You talked about AACCNJ, New Jersey's largest public utility. Thomas Edison created the light bulb, but it was a son of a Black slave, Lewis Lattimore, who created the filament to keep the light bulb on. We should not continue to marginalize ourselves, because if we know our history, we can go in a room and push back on perceptions that we're less than, or we come hat in hand. No, we come here because you're standing on the shoulders of our ancestors. And success is in our DNA. But if you don't know this, you're going to be subject to some of these schemes that's going to keep you impoverished and cannot realize your dreams. Always looking for the hookup. We made this place, so they need to get connected to us to live in. So let me go back. You got me going right now.
I know. Look, I could listen to you all day. Especially because you're a history buff. You got the facts.
You got to have them, because when I go in these boardrooms and talk to these CEOs of corporations, they're playing this chess game about, is he going to come in here and bang on the table or speak like an uneducated and a person who we're going to come with receipts. We're going to come with facts. and everything we talk about is going to be well documented. We win together when people realize and respect that if you look at this weekend, is starting the playoffs for the NFL. If Black people walked off the football fields, these franchises would be bankrupt.
And
If,
basketball, don't forget basketball.
LeBron James and Steph Curry and Kyrie Irving walked off the basketball court for a day or two or a week, folks would be like saying, what's going on? Because their lifestyle is predicated on us contributing to what they do. So we have a partnership. And back to actress Henson, we have a partnership, but it has not been reciprocal. It has not been equitable. We have to realign this relationship. I looked at the Kings of Comedy the other day, the 25th anniversary, and they talked about giving Russell Simmons and Brother Lathan credit for creating Def Jam comedy. I may have it screwed up, so my apologies. But the millions of dollars that the various comedians made as a result of being on that platform. We're making money every day, but how we use those resources to uplift our communities. And that's what the chamber's here for. We're a 501c3 organization. So if you don't want to get involved as a member, make a charitable contribution for a program or strategy or an initiative that we can drive to help your people, help us, help the states and the communities where they reside.
I love that. And I mean, I know it's important. Well, I'm in Indiana. If you know anything about Indiana, you know your history. We're 13% African Americans, which was a culture shock for me by myself. Coming from New Jersey and North Carolina, I was like,
yes.
Are you serious?
That's significant because we're only 14% here in New Jersey.
Really? I knew that.
Yeah, we're only 14%. Now, when you drill down into communities, like in Trenton, Blacks are 52% of a population of about 90,000 people. Newark has almost 300,000 residents. Newark is the largest city that's run by a Black man, Ras Baraka, in the state. Essex County, where Newark is, PACCNJ headquarters is, has the largest concentration in that region of Black people. But they're highly in the northern tier of the state. And as you come further south, there's less Black people. But as a whole, we're 1.2 million of the 9 million in New Jersey. But from an aggregate perspective, we're about 14%.
So I think it's not optional to get involved, like you say, with the city council. One of my good friends just won. We have 2 Black city council people. One of my good friends just won city council at large for a second term, which is pretty amazing. And then there's another young lady that has Southside. You know, Southside is always the Black people.
Okay.
So, you know, it's always going to have a Black city council person as far as I'm concerned. But these are things that we really do. We need to get involved in the chamber. I don't know that we have a Black chamber here. Maybe I
can research that and find out. Harry Alford, who was the founder of the National Black Chamber, and Kay DeBow was the co-founder. Kay was from Indiana.
But one of them on LinkedIn. I don't remember which one.
It may be Chuck. But the National Black Chamber was founded in Indiana.
What?
And they got their start around, when you guys built that, used to have the big expo there in Indiana. The governor, his name escaped, Evan Bayh, I believe, was the governor at the time. Harry worked with him, realized that Washington, D.C. was a better place to launch a national organization. And Kay was born in Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis. She,
Probably.
her father, Charles DeBow, was a Tuskegee Airman. But Indiana roots.
Wow, you're gonna have to let me know because maybe we can get one started. If you
Yeah.
don't,
So I'll talk with Chuck. Chuck runs the National Black Chamber, but he would know, and I can get that answer for you and circle back.
well, this is, man, wow. I'm so full with all of your knowledge, and that's how you got to be where you are. You are an amazing man of God, and I have to say that because that's who you are. Um, and God has given you so many gifts and talents to be able to empower not just New Jerseyans, but the world, actually. But we're only going to go higher because together, I always say this: together we win.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think one of the keys to our success has been, God's favor, but moreover, it's not about me. We started this organization with $14,000 in the vision. And now we
Mm.
have two offices. We own this building that I'm in here today. When I say own it, that means no debt. Some people own
Oh,
things, have mortgages. We this building is about 5,500 square feet. We have
mm.
two vans that we do program around the state that we have the title to. We have two two TV shows and a radio show to support Black people. But it's not about me. It's about our constituency. It's about them winning. I chuckle. This might be a bad example, but I'm going to use it because people might relate to it. I remember Suge Knight saying that, to Puffy, you don't want your manager all in the videos and come to death row.
I remember
Well,
that.
I'm not going to be all in your videos. I'm here to help you win. Here at the African American Chamber of Commerce, we're going to push you. I think our most successful member is the most committed member. You have to be committed to your success and let us know where you're trying to go and why you want to go there. And it's our job to help support you and give you guidance and provide programming that's going to align with your mission and your vision so you can get something out of it. And so we've learned and we continue to learn, but our people need a lot. But all we need them to do is realize that you have to invest in your vision. Those gaiters and those red bottom shoes, we can all do that. They look nice, but they won't pay a bill, right? I'd say redirect those resources to taking a membership in the chamber or supporting Dr. King's organization. You're going to get a better return that you can go out and really have a better life, a life that's afforded with options, where you can dress or drive or live or go wherever you want to go and not worry about your ability to meet that obligation next month. And so that's what I encourage you to do. Take some money, invest in your business. If you are Black and in business and you don't have a Chamber of Commerce relationship, that's shame on you, because athletes have business, they have agents, corporations have lobbyists. Everyone has a representative for them. And so your Chamber of Commerce is an extension of your business. We are a business development person, a lot cheaper than hiring a business development person to work for you, which could be substantial. An investment in the Chamber of Commerce or what Dr. King is doing is going to give you a return, because you're going to get an advocate, you're going to get education, you're going to get a convener of meetings and information, you're going to get a connector that's going to connect you to resources, opportunities, and information that will ultimately contribute to your success.
Absolutely. We do, just like your your weekly, we do weekly podcasts. I said that they're live on different topics. One of the topics that we did was investing in yourself. You know, what I found as the CEO and founder of Black Women Empowered is everybody wants a free hookup.
It don't exist.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
You gotta be willing to invest. I remember, John, when I brought Vicky Winans to Greensboro. That was my first major event. I won't even say how much I paid, but let me tell you what, it put me in the deep red. I'm not talking about the organization, I'm talking about me, because I didn't have a budget. And so, but you know what? It was one of the best things that I ever did, because people started to take us serious, and they said, okay, this is just not an online thing. This is real. Sometimes you have to put the money in yourself, your business, to get the attention that you really want to get, right?
Absolutely. You know, there's no free lunch in life, and there's no shortcut to success, right? You have to put the money up. If you create a business plan, and most of you could go to your small business development agencies in your community and learn how to construct a business plan. That's for free. But once you get the business plan and you test the business plan and it tells you that this business will work, all that remains is your commitment to the plan. You know, ironically, there are a number of businesses that sprout up at the first of the year, and I will attribute that to big Thanksgiving meals or Christmas meals, and people were having these big dreams, and they started businesses on emotion, and then shortly thereafter, they're out of business because it was just an emotional endeavor. You have to really put the work in and put the pieces to the plan to make sure the plan will work. And if the plan will work, then your job is let's get it done. There's so many ways that Black people can make money in these United States. Why do you think everybody's trying to get here, right? I'm not worried about them coming because I'm confident in my value proposition. That's just noise. You can eat just like they plan to eat. But I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, there's too many Black people today in America who are in business, who are desiring to be in business, and their apples falling on the ground because they're not positioned to catch them. So what's meant for us is riding on the ground, or somebody else is coming along, they're catching it and they're eating at our expense. Don't begrudge people who start businesses that don't look like us and they're successful because you've been sitting around thinking about it. Oh, I had that idea. Oh, I could do that. I fry the best chicken. Asians are frying chicken now.
What?
So what I'm saying is,
I think that
don't sit on your gift.
Asians own Sylvia's restaurant. I know in North Carolina, there was a restaurant, Soul Food, and I can't even think of what it is not right now, but the Asians done took it over. They made it all. I'm not kidding. Stephanie's, I believe it is, and don't quote me, but this is what I understand. Stephanie, Barack Obama went there when he was in Greensboro.
Wow.
From what I understand, she sold it to the Asians. They probably.
Well, I'm telling you,
refuse.
There's nobody that can fry chicken better than Big Mom or bake pies. Before we sell out, reach out to the chamber. Maybe we can find a Black person to buy that business. They're not the only ones with money. We have paper. You just got to get the right person. Anyway,
Mayetta, she said to you, thank you for your wisdom and correction, sir. And I like to highlight what people are saying. We're going to rerun this several times. And, one thing you said in the beginning about homeownership, I forget what you said, the percentage of homeownership was in New Jersey, but let me just tell you about me.
35%.
I bought my first home.
Versus
at 29.
I'm sorry.
Okay, a single mom, 29 years old in Ewing Township, right? I knew where I wanted to be because I knew what school district I wanted my kids to go to. And
Important.
so I stayed in that house for 17 years, sold it for
Wow.
3 times what I bought it for. Moved to Greensboro, bought 2 houses. One is an investment
Wow.
property, and one was brand new, built from the ground. Okay. And I'm saying all
Wow.
this to say is, look, real estate is going to be a really good investment. I taught my children because my dad told me, I don't want my grandchildren to grow up in an apartment. Those were his exact words. And I took that serious.
Right.
And honestly, after my first apartment, I never lived in an apartment again. I've owned 5 houses, okay? And each time I have leveled up, to a nicer house.
I think it's very important. I mean,
it is. It's extremely important. And in an apartment, what are you doing? Making somebody else rich. You're never going to own it. They're always going to go up on the rent. And
absolutely.
in the end, you got nothing, right?
No equity. Absolutely. No, I agree. 35% of Blacks in New Jersey own homes. And I think it's 76% of whites in New Jersey own homes. And then you look at the wealth gap. Our net worth is 17,000. Theirs is 322,000. A lot has to do with leveraging that home, right? Last 5 years, I bought 6 properties in the last 5 years.
Well, I don't have your money, but let me tell you what. I was wise with the money that I had.
And that's all that matters.
I told my children, both of them are homeowners, and both of them have had 2 homes. And I told them, you do not want to throw your money to somebody else. And
Amen.
never get any equity, never get a return on your investment. All you're doing is making someone else rich. That's all you're doing.
Absolutely.
So this has been, I could go on with you for hours. Honestly, I think we ought to do maybe
to be continued. How's that?
I think we should do like maybe a month. I know your schedule is busy. Maybe we can do it once a month. Maybe.
I'll talk to Jacqueline. That's definitely possible. Maybe
she has my namesake, so she's gonna go for it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. No, we can get that done. Maybe we could do it in 30-minute intervals. That will probably make it a little easier for me doing my schedule. But we can absolutely do this. We can socialize about workshops. I do have some ideas that we could speak to your audience and help people around the country get in a better place and around the world, because the opportunities are there. We just need to muster the courage and the discipline and go for it.
Yeah. And
all right.
I thank you so much. This has been great. Also, I'm going to say it publicly. We're going to give you all your own honorary membership to our directory for the New Jersey Black Chamber. Hey,
well, we're going to do something for you too, because
you get your blessing. To me, you're blessed to be a blessing. I just think you need to be in there, and if they want to join or whatever, you're going to have the visibility that I have announced publicly, and that is so. Thank you so much, John. You know I love you as I think a little brother, because I'm pretty sure I'm older than you. My kids are 46.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Tell Bishop.
You be blessed, and thank you.
Tell the bishop I said hi, okay, and all my former church family.
I will. And for more information, they can go to AACCNJ.com. We got Ben Crump coming to New Jersey on the 22nd of February. And so if you're in the state, you can be my guest. How about that?
And you have something else. Don't you have some other things you want to announce that are coming up? I thought there were a couple of things.
We got a lot. Let them go to the website. It's there.
And I'm supposed to be coming in March, right?
Yep. More to
Keep that in mind. Look,
come.
I'm holding you to that.
All right, you be blessed.
Thank you so much. God bless. Everyone have a good evening.
Bless you. Bye-bye.